in our effort to make our content consumable, we've actually eliminated every element that makes the video actually watchable. William Archer, who's a really great playwright, he actually says drama is anticipation mingled with uncertainty. That is drama. It's very, very simple formula. Raise a question, delay the payoff, and you've got suspense in the middle. So let's talk about how you get suspense. How do you build suspense into any story? Well, it's actually pretty simple. You've got to raise the stakes. You've got to show me something the audience or the character in the video wants to have, what they desire, and then you've got to threaten it as much as you can. That's how you create suspense. All you do is raise the stakes. Let me show you what this means. Okay, this is the tale of two watermelons, and it's my study in raising the stakes. Let's start with watermelon number one. Watermelon number one is actually the story of two guys. It's Gavin and Dan. Gavin and Dan are known as the slow-mo guys. Maybe you've seen them. Raise your hand if you've seen the slow-mo guys. Bunch of people. Okay, the slow-mo guys are two guys from the UK. They bought some fancy film equipment so that they could shoot all sorts of stuff in super slow motion. So they've done things like popping popcorn in really slow motion. They've done like a soccer ball to the face, boom, yeah, in slow motion. They did diving into 1,000 mousetraps on a train. I'm not going to do that one. But they dove, it was very, very funny, actually. And in January, a few years ago, of 2014, they decided to actually explode a watermelon in slow motion. So I want you to think about what's at stake here and what might be threatening it, okay? This is just a watermelon that wants to live. That's what its desire is, okay? And the threat is a firecracker. Let's watch how much attention you can get when you insert a firecracker into a watermelon and threaten the life of the watermelon. Here we go. Oh. 9 seconds. That took 9 seconds. I earned 9 seconds of your attention right there. You want to see it in slow-mo? That was the question you had. I thought these were slow-mo guys, Drew. Where's the slow-mo? It's right here, guys. Relax. Oh. Wow. All right, that was another 9 seconds. Even in slow motion, it's 9 seconds, which actually amazes me. So the total of attention I earned from you guys was 18 seconds, okay? So that's the amount of attention I can earn when I raise the stakes with a firecracker and a living watermelon that just wants to keep going on living. And the formula we can actually do, right? It's 9 seconds of attention, a watermelon that wants to live, plus a firecracker, which is the threat, gives you 9 seconds and an outcome or conclusion. Awesome explosion, okay? Simple formula. All right, let's do the watermelon number two. Watermelon number two is a really exciting and interesting case study for me. These are two people that work at BuzzFeed, James and Chelsea. April of last year, they decided that they were actually going to also threaten the life of a watermelon. Let them explain how they were going to do this, okay? Here we go.
Hi, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm James.
And this is our watermelon that we're going to try to explode using rubber bands. And right now we're at 90 rubber bands, and we've somehow gotten talked into sitting very closely to this, and I'm nervous.
I'm really scared.
So yeah, we're going to start. All right, 91.
There they go.
And sometimes
They decided to do this live, 3 o'clock Eastern, and stream it on Facebook. And what happened next, almost immediately, was pretty interesting. People started raising questions, like, I don't think you're exploding a watermelon, I think it's an implosion. That's actually pretty insightful, and it started a debate. I think you guys need thicker rubber bands. This is really stressful. See the tension and anxiety? Okay, this is going to take a while, but I'm watching. So a few minutes went by, 20 minutes went by, and 375,000 people were now watching the live stream of a watermelon implosion. And the comments and questions kept streaming in. We got things like people saying, I wonder how many rubber bands they have. That's a question they want an answer to. And they weren't answering them, by the way. Maybe it'll never explode. Maybe it won't. That's the suspense. It'll explode while I'm not watching. I know it. You see the desire? I got to see the outcome. If I walk away or have to pee, I'm going to miss this. This is suspense. Very simple. A rubber band attached every time starts threatening the life of this. And then 40 minutes went by. 800,000 viewers are now watching the live stream of a life-threatening situation for a watermelon. And the comments just kept rolling in. And the comments got better and better as the volume of people increased. Look at that watermelon doesn't look healthy at that point. Where's the fast forward button, right? I want to see the end. I've invested too much time into this to stop watching now. And my favorite. My kids are sitting on a curb. There you go. I was supposed to pick up the kids from school 40 minutes ago. This video is more interesting than your kids' safety. That's how powerful this simple concept of building suspense over time can be. And their formula was really straightforward. Over the course of over 40 minutes, we garnered 40 minutes of attention with the same watermelon and one rubber band at a time threatening it. And you get an exploding watermelon at the end. Unbelievably simple. Let's look at the difference between these two. The difference in attention alone is 300 times the amount of attention. People watching this video forever. 11 million people have watched this video replay so that they can watch the comments live. That's crazy to me. And the difference, yes, is the method, that's fine, but the attention your content garners is directly proportional to the rate at which you raise the stakes. And remember, in video, because it's linear, you control the information you give to the audience at every step. So it's your fault if they don't have any questions. It's your fault if they don't get through the video. It's your fault if they don't want to see the end. Not theirs. You gave them too much information too soon, and they don't care. The difference between consumable content and actually really watchable content is just the difference between inserting a firecracker into a watermelon and getting the short fuse that blows it up in 9 seconds, which is what most of us try to do to earn the attention of only 9 seconds because they can't watch any longer. But when you actually focus on making watchable content, you start thinking about how can I actually raise questions along the journey with just one rubber band at a time. I don't need to blow it all up right in the middle and vomit on the audience. All I need to do is ask one rubber band at a time. Keep threatening it until there's a great outcome. That's how you tell a really simple video story. And what this does is it actually keeps rising tension, not attention. I didn't realize that was so hard to differentiate until now. But the tension is that emotional anxiety you feel when you want to see the outcome. It's the anticipation of the outcome you want. And you can't do in 9 seconds the same kind of anticipation you want over the course of 40 minutes. The longer the anticipation, the bigger the catharsis. This is what tension over time looks like, this anticipation. So the black line is the fuse, right? And this is the length of the fuse. This is 100% of the video, not 90 seconds or 40 minutes. 100% of the video only gets you to like a 37.8 on the level of anticipation scale, because you don't have enough time to really want to see the outcome. Versus every rubber band increasing the tension over 600 rubber bands over the course of 40 minutes gets you to the point where you're like, I gotta see this. This watermelon, look, it's gonna explode any minute. There's juices coming out of it. So where should you put your call to action? Right there, where the tension is at the highest. That's where they want the answers, but they're interested in watching so intently that they'll actually be interested in whatever you have to say. If it's in the way of their exploding watermelon, I will watch it. This is how television works. And you can put your call to action other places as well. But the longer you're able to build suspense, the greater the tension and the bigger the potential catharsis and emotional release of your audience. You want a big release, you got to take it over time. You can't do a really big... It's starting to sound very sexual. I just noticed. Get your minds out of the gutter. So what if we raise the stakes in our videos? We've got to ask ourselves, are we just inserting a firecracker when we should be just adding the one rubber band at a time to build the right kind of tension? And look, I get it. We're not creating a bunch of exploding watermelon videos if we're running a museum or a hospital system or we sell some really boring B2B software. I get it. Maybe you're like SAP and you're like, Drew, this is great, but we sell ERP systems and watermelons, they're not, I don't know how to... or maybe you work for a nonprofit like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and you're like, look, exploding watermelons is fun, but how do I actually apply this? I understand. This is a real problem. Maybe you even work for FreshBooks, and you just I sell small business accounting software, and watermelons might get attention, but they will not sell software. You're absolutely right. I want to be really clear. I'm not trying to tell you to explode watermelons with rubber bands as a gimmick. I want you to just raise the stakes to earn more attention over a longer period of time. And yeah, we are not creating lots of watermelon videos, but you know what we are creating? A ton of case studies, testimonials, employee journey videos, patient outcome thing. You're creating a lot of this stuff. And look, I went online and looked at the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's great testimonials and case studies. But you don't even have to watch this to know that there's nothing at stake. Leukemia and lymphoma is literally life or death. The stakes don't get any higher. You cannot raise the stakes higher than life or death. And the title of the video tells me the outcome. What I should want to know is Jeff dead? This is the vital question. I'm not joking. I'm glad you think it's funny, but this is the truth. You can't title a video like that. There's nothing at stake. I also went to SAP's website, and I watched lots and lots of their case study videos. They have 744 case study videos, and let's assume they just spent $4,000 on each one. I think that's unbelievably low, but that's okay. Let's just say they spent $4,000. They spent about $2.9 million on 744 case studies, and I watched dozens of them, and they are boring. They are too long. There is nothing at stake in any of those videos. Go watch every 744 one of them. And if you find one, I will take back my words and I will write an apology letter in the New York Times to SAP. But there isn't one. It doesn't exist. And FreshBooks has the same problem. FreshBooks has a bunch of case studies that they shot really nicely on their YouTube channel. And I went and watched them. I picked one at random and said, you know what? Let's look at this case study video from Sarah. But let's not just look at it. Let's take an existing case study video and let's re-edit it together to fix an existing case study video. So that's what we're going to do. Is that okay? You want to fix it? Okay, here's the deal then. This is going to be a really boring minute and 32 seconds for you. But in order for the rest of this presentation to make any sense, you've actually got to pay attention, okay? And you're going to want to bail. And as soon as you want to bail, I want you to raise your hand, okay? I will be shocked if there's anyone who, is there someone from FreshBooks? Because that would be the person who's like, I love this video. Raise your hand when you're ready to bail, but pay attention. Don't actually bail. Am I clear on this? When you want to bail, you go like that, but keep watching and try to take it in. Here we go, okay?